things when you sit on the Oversight Committee. DOGE. It's curious that it seems to me that that's like a dirty word for many Democrats. They recoil when they hear it, DOGE. Or if they say the word DOGE, it leaves a bitter taste in their mouth, very acidic. They'll say, DOGE. But what does it stand for? I'll tell you what it doesn't stand for. It doesn't stand for oligarch. It doesn't stand for billionaire. It doesn't stand for unelected billionaire. It doesn't stand for Project 2025, and it sure as hell doesn't stand for Elon Musk. It's the Department of Government Efficiency. Who in their right mind would oppose our federal government operating with more, wait for it, efficiency? Who in their right mind believes that a 1.7 million strong civilian federal workforce operates currently at maximum efficiency? Of course it doesn't. But I figured I'd hear certain things, and our colleagues across the aisle didn't disappoint. They went to the tact of venerating the flawless federal worker without whom we would all see our lives disintegrate before our very eyes. How dare we even question these benevolent public servants? In far too many instances, federal bureaucrats have become not the public servants, but they've evolved into public masters. Now, do some federal workers do a fabulous job? Absolutely. Do some federal agencies provide critical services for Americans? Of course. But not all. And where there isn't value being provided, we need to trim the excess, we need to eliminate waste, we need to expose the abuse, and we need to streamline efficiency. Take, for instance, the Department of Education. When you say you want to eliminate the Department of Education, liberals' heads will explode. But it was formed in 1979. And when you look at the proficiency in math and reading from 1979 to current day, it's stagnant. It's a rounding error. It goes up a little, goes down a little bit. But when you look at adjusted for inflation, the spending per pupil on education, it was $9,615 in 1979. It's now just under $20,000. So we spent double the money, but it's not reaching classroom performance. Block grants would be a far better way rather than spending $79 billion on a Department of Education at the federal level. We went to the moon without a Department of Education. So the growth in the federal government has been staggering. If you look at just the last 100 years, in 1929, the federal government spent $3.6 billion. Adjusted for inflation, that's $66 billion. Today, that number is $7,300 billion, 110 times in 100 years, or 11,100% in a century. There are 400 executive branch agencies and sub-agencies and 1,000 federal boards and commissions. I think we should look to the states, and we have Governor Reynolds here. And Governor Reynolds, I commend you for taking the cabinet position numbers from 37 to 16 and eliminating 500 unfilled positions and then eliminating 83 state boards and commissions. How much is it projected to save your taxpayers, Governor?
In the first 18 months, it's saved $217 million, and that's exceeded what our original projections were for 4 years. So I will continue to see savings as we move forward, as we've really had visibility into the agencies and look for opportunities to continue to make us better.
$217 million, and having been in a state legislature for 8 years, that's real money at the state level, particularly in a state the size of Iowa. What is the feedback you're receiving from, is it Iowans? Not Iowites, right? Iowans?
Iowans, yeah.
Iowans, okay.
Yeah.
What are Iowans telling you about this?
Well, they appreciate it. First of all, I have an obligation to make government accountable to the taxpayers, and I want to continue to bring the taxpayer burden down on Iowans. And by keeping spending in check and making government more efficient, we're going to be able to do that. I started my comments today when I took office. Our individual income tax rate was 8.98%. Today, January 1st of 2025, it's 3.8%. So when we saw 9% inflation under the Biden administration, this was a way that I could help give back to Iowans some of their hardworking dollars so that they could offset some of the cost of gas and groceries that they were experiencing.
And what, Governor, what advice would you give the federal government as we try to streamline our services for the American taxpayer?
I think, it makes us, go for it. Everybody's going to tell you you can't do it. I haven't heard any other suggestions on doing something different. In Iowa, it had been 40 years since we'd taken a look at the structure of government. That's ridiculous. It was bloated, it had grown, and we could do things better. And this has been an opportunity. It's changed the culture of our agencies, our cabinet, and most importantly, our employers. They feel like they're making a difference, and they're making a difference in how they're serving Iowans.
Amen. Thank you. And coming from Texas and looking at the growth of Texas and Florida, people vote with their feet, and they're moving to the states like Iowa, Tennessee, Texas, Florida, because we're doing it the right way. And at the federal level, Mr. Chairman, we can and we must do better. And thank you, Governor, and thank you, Chairman. I yield.